Hey everyone, Rob here from Gunfather Milsim, bringing you the first of a three-part series today on basically my whole gear loadout for Operation Underdog, which is my first 40-hour Milsim. It's taking place October 14th to 16th at D-Day Adventureland Park in Wyandotte, Oklahoma, and that's being put on by a company called Milsim. So when I'm talking about this op, I've never done a 40-hour op before straight through where you're subject to attack the whole time, where you sleep in the field and blah, blah, blah. Never done it. I've done dozens of Milsims, weekend Milsims, but usually you go back to the camp at the end of, index and then drink beer with your buddies. So this one, we're in the field the whole time. Not only that, but I am playing what they call a sniper observation team, or SNOT. Yeah, I know. But a sniper observation team where I'm the observer, and we're going to be basically relaying information is our primary mission on troop movements and calling in, airstrikes and stuff using grid coordinates, and it's kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to it, learning some new skills. So I kind of set up a new rig, a specific outfit, gear loadout just for that role. So I'm going to do this in three parts. First one, I'm just going to talk about, operationally what I'm going to be carrying on my person, weapon systems, chest rig, etc. Second one I'm going to do is going to be more like sustainment gear, like here's my sleeping bag, here's my pack, here's all the other crap, which is honestly the majority of the equipment I've had to buy for this op, north of $1,000 just to get it all, is in that area. Finally, I'm going to do a video after it's over, just kind of a review of here's how the op went and here's how this stuff worked or didn't work. First thing we're going to talk about is my primary weapon, which is my Cyma Platinum SR25. I've done a lot of videos on this gun. It performs very well. I'm not going to get into the internals here. You can find it somewhere else. But it just works really well. The optic is a Vortex Viper 2, 1:6. Very good optic by airsoft standards. By real steel standards, it's so-so. Bipod is a Harris bipod. You might be asking, Rob, you did a video saying that bipods are bullshit in airsoft and they don't help you. Why did you mount one on your gun? Because Milsim requires it for their rule set. So there it is. It might come in handy though, because since I'm doing a sniper observer role where I might be prone for a really long time in one position just watching things, it could be handy to have that just for comfort. Magazines, these are Aries mid caps. They feed well. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because I can only carry 4 of them for the entire 40 hours. So that's like 400 BBs for 40 hours. So clearly the goal of this role, of the sniper observer role, is not to shoot at all. My primary weapon is my radio and the scope. Moving on, I did have to repaint this gun for this op. Usually I use kind of desert tan kind of patterns when I paint my guns, but since I'm on the green team and I'm going to be hiding in a green environment, I repainted everything green. Obviously added a barrel wrap on both the actual forend and the optic. In the game, I'm actually going to put some real world veg in here to try to disguise it some more. Had to switch out the stock. Before I had this kind of smaller Magpul stock, which worked great. Held a 1400 mAh stick battery in it, but I need more battery power for a longer game, even though I'm not going to be shooting that much, theoretically. So I've got this crane stock, which is larger, gives me more capacity, and I can throw a 2800 mAh Titan 11.1 volt battery in here and just not worry about it for the whole weekend. Other than that, the sling, I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion here, is a Daisho Tactical Bungee Sling. These are my slings, that's my company. I make them and I sell them. So we'll talk more about that later. But clearly I'm biased, but I like these slings. So that is the primary weapon I'll be using. Moving on to my secondary weapon, and it's right here. ICS Captain. I've had this gun for years. Now some may ask, why are you bringing a secondary gun? Well, because all airsoft is varying degrees of cheap Chinese shit, and they do break unexpectedly often. So I always recommend, if you're going to travel to a game, especially if you're going to travel a distance and pay lots of money, bring a secondary so you're not stuck missing out if your gun breaks. Thus, I'm bringing this. Additionally, since some of these operations obviously are going to take place at night, I needed something with some night vision. So I ordered some night vision for the scope. I'm going to rent it from nightvisionrental.com. I got the Gun Buddy, which is basically a PVS 14 and a GG&G mount, so you can kind of use it as a scope, an optic. It costs $98 a day. They're only charging me for 3 days because that's how long the game is. They send it to you and you send it back when you're done. It's actually pretty affordable. And if you want to buy the night vision device afterwards, they take the money that you put towards the rental towards the price. So it's kind of nice. I'll send you some I'll put some photos up of that mounted later on Instagram or whatever when it gets here. But as far as the gun is concerned, it's just standard AEG. It's right about 1.48 joule. The light is a Phoenix TK11, nothing special. Moment switch has a light because I'm going to be using it at night, although you don't really want to use a lot of white light. You got to have something on there for target identification. Nothing too special about this gun. The magazines, once again, limited to 4 PTS EPMs, mid-caps. Finally, as a sidearm, I'm going to be carrying my Elite Force Glock 17. Nothing special about it. It's bone stock. And in a Black Hawk Serpa holster. These are not the best holsters in the world, but they are lightweight and they're pretty comfortable, and I'm going for comfort because I'm going to be out in the field for a very long time. I don't want to carry a lot of extra weight. Don't want to carry a battle belt if I don't have to. So you got to have a sidearm when you're carrying a DMR, just in case somebody sneaks up on you inside that med. Safety first, you know, be careful of your fellow players. So that's what I'm carrying. I'm going to carry a dump pouch, just a standard HSGI magnet dump pouch. You always got to have a dump pouch for carrying whatever, spare mags, snacks, whatever happens to end up in there. Also going to be using cut in half sniper veil. Probably going to use this in the actual game to help disguise my gun and put the rest of it over my head, because I'm going to be in that hide for a really long time. So this with natural vegetation is hopefully going to keep me hidden from the enemy so I can do my sniper observer job. And since we're talking about staying concealed, we'll go on to my actual Cobra ghillie. Now I went with a less is more approach on this Cobra ghillie. I didn't want to make a whole ghillie suit because, to be brutally honest, I've never done it and it takes like 80 hours and I just don't have the time. So I went kind of the less extravagant route. Went with the Roco tactical ghillie off Amazon, or Cobra ghillie. Did a video on it. I'll put a link below. I added a whole bunch of disguise elements. I'm hoping this works pretty well. I've been using it a little bit in field games. It appears to be very effective. It's comfortable. It works well. If I'm going to be moving through the woods, I don't want lots of crap on my legs. That's going to get caught on all sorts of branches and stuff, because it is going to be pretty thick out there still, even though it's October. I have found this works effective. I guess we'll see when I do part 3 of this video, when I do the after action, whether I was right or whether I was Rob, you're an idiot. You probably should have spent 80 hours building a proper ghillie. We'll see. But when I get to the game, I'm going to throw a lot of natural vegetation in there, and hopefully that is enough to keep me well hidden with some other tricks we're going to use. As far as my actual rig goes, I'm not going to wear a plate carrier because I'm going to be out there for 40 hours, so I want to be comfortable. Okay, so I'm switching to my chest rig. This is actually a tactical tailor chest rig. It's probably about 15, 16 years old. I've had it for a very long time. The system here over your shoulders, the harness is really wide. It's very comfortable, distributes the weight well. As far as pouches go, just HSGI triple kangaroo pouch. I don't usually use these for pistol mags. I use them for any like multi-tools and stuff, any little thing that you might need to put in there. 2 general purpose tactical tailor pouches. These are also 16 years old and have seen heavy use. It's just a testament to how well they make their gear. I did want a dangler pouch on this, and this rig doesn't have the Velcro on the back for a dangler pouch because it's that old. Back in the day when this was made, dangler pouches really weren't a thing. They weren't that cool. So I modified all my gear a little bit, but this modification was a little bit beyond my abilities, so I had my dad help me out. He's been doing upholstery for like 30 some years, and he has a commercial sewing machine, and he hooked me up and added this piece of Velcro here and then modified this dangler pouch so I can have a dangler pouch on my chest rig. So good deal there. Other than that, nothing special. Once again, going for lightweight and comfortable. Moving on to comms. Nothing fancy. That's how I always run my comms. I don't do headsets and all sorts of bullshit. Just standard earpiece and push-to-talk microphone. That's it. The actual radio, I did buy a new radio for this op. So I'm going to have this one. Remember, I'm going to be a sniper observer. My job is to relay information via the radio, so I got to spend some time and money on this. This is it. This is the whole mission right here. So I got a Baofeng UV82 HP with an extended battery, I actually have 3 of these batteries, so I got plenty of battery life to last me the whole weekend. I also have a backup radio with 2 more batteries. So no matter what, I'm going to be able to get a signal out. Remember, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Comes with this antenna on it. This antenna, although great for most airsoft games, at the field we're going to, this D-Day Adventureland Park, it's very large and there's a lot of terrain up and down, and this field is notorious for eating up radio signals. So I'm going to show you in a sec. I got a larger antenna to hopefully solve that problem, but the one that comes on it is this one, and I'm going to have this one in the field with me. So this is my actual ops bag. This is my Eberl stock Bandit. I bought this specifically for this op. Did not come with all these disguise elements on it, obviously. I'm building this for this sniper observer role. So I put these on here thinking I'm going to take it off when we get where we're going. I can put it on the ground, maybe throw a bush over it and not have to worry about somebody seeing it from far away. Are these going to help or hurt? I don't know. We'll see in the after action. But I had some extra disguise elements, so I thought there's probably no harm in throwing some on here in the Molly. You'll see it's sporting a handsome Gunfather Milsim patch. This is more shameless self-promotion. Find these at DiceShowTactical.com. I'm not going to wear this on the op because it's got a lot of white in it. You can probably spot that from quite a ways away. So what am I going to carry in this? Well, it's got a 3-liter water bladder for one. Generally speaking, I am not a fan of camelbacks, but once again, I'm going to be stuck prone hiding for a long period of time, so let's bring that. That's going to make my life easier. Other than that, it's going to carry extra batteries, lots of snacks, additional radio equipment, pen and paper, all sorts of stuff. But mostly just sustainment and comfort gear when we're out in the field. As far as the construction goes, I didn't really do a review of this. It's just a really nice pack. Everything Eberl stock makes is awesome. Okay, it costs a little more money, but you get what you pay for, like with everything else. As far as the antenna goes that I referenced earlier, I did purchase an antenna, a longer foldable antenna for that radio system. You'll see it here. Okay, it's a 48-inch foldable antenna. Some people have played in this field before, recommended I bring this for the sniper observer role. So I bought it. I can unplug the other one, screw this one in. I can actually put this up in a tree nearby or just put it up high so we can really have some range on our transmissions, because once again, my primary role in this mission is to observe and relay information to command elements. So this is going to help me do that. Finally, for BDUs, I am going with color Multicam Tropical. I've always liked this color in green environments. And these ones are obviously knockoffs. These are not real Crye Precision G3 pants. These ones are made by Emerson. Emerson is an airsoft company. They are not my favorite company, but they're the only ones I could find that made the G3 knockoff pants in this pattern. So I prefer the Idle Gear ones on Amazon, but when I looked these over, I found that I'm pretty sure Idle Gear makes these and just sends them to Emerson, and Emerson puts the Emerson tag, and as near as I can tell, the blend and the build and everything else, they're identical. So essentially these are Idle Gear pants, or they come out of the Idle Gear factory. Either way, I've had good lucks with these, and I'm going to use them for this op. So that's all I got for my operations loadout for Operation Underdog. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell. You guys know how YouTube works. Better yet, support my content. Go to my website and buy some merchandise. Go to DiceShowTactical.com. I sell my patches there. I also sell bungee slings, which I make. This is my 2-point bungee sling with QD mounts, and these now come in multicam and multicam black. And here is a 2-to-1 conversion bungee sling, and this one is in multicam black. Just an example of some of the slings I sell. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2 and 3 of this series.